Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. Welcome to yet another episode of the Ugandan Podcast. My name is Brandy Valentine Azeirwe, a Communication Officer, Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. And today we have such an amazing guest. She is the equivalent of Deputy Minister of ICT for the Philippines, Ms. Jocelle Batapa Sigue. She is passionate about business process outsourcing and the Pearl of Africa as a whole. And we are happy to have her here, and we're going to get into a conversation about ICT and business process outsourcing. Jocelle, you're welcome to the Ugandan Podcast.
Thank you, Brandy. It's my pleasure to be here. Hello, Uganda. I'm so happy to grace your show, the Ugandan Podcast.
All right. How do you greet in the Philippines?
All right. In the Philippines, we have this word, mabuhay.
Mabuhay.
It means maybe a long life and hello and a very positive feeling of welcome.
Yes.
Yes.
So basically when you say mabuhay, I say mabuhay.
Yes.
Okay, so mabuhay.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
All right. I'm very happy that we are here finally having this conversation. And I know that in your country, the deputy minister is the undersecretary, and so the minister is the secretary.
Right.
So how have you enjoyed the time that you have been here? Because I understand you've been here for a symposium. Tell us about it, and how have you enjoyed the symposium?
Yes, so this is actually a dream of mine, starting in 2022 when I met Permanent Secretary Dr. Amina in Bucharest. That was also my first year as a national government official. Our ministry is called the Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT. And I know the minister from way back. So when he was appointed 2 years ago, he asked me to join his team. And so one of my first assignments was to go to the ITU, or the International Telecommunications Union. And I'd like to share with your viewers that ITU is the ICT arm of the United Nations. And you'll find it weird because it's actually older than the United Nations. The ITU is around 160 years old next year, but the United Nations is around 70 years old. So it goes without saying that the world really came together ahead of time just to make sure that communications is really going to bind us as one planet. And how am I enjoying Uganda, as you said? I am having a great time.
You are, yes.
Yes, as you can see, the food is great. People are really very friendly, and you know, I'm very interested to explore new cultures.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a theme that we're running as a country to make Uganda a tourist destination, and we say anyone who comes to Uganda, explore Uganda.
Okay.
Yes. Now, I want us to get into a technical part of this conversation. Our president, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has fronted business process outsourcing as one of the pillars that will help alleviate unemployment in the country. And I know you're passionate about business process outsourcing, same as the Ministry of ICT. Tell us more about the status of business process outsourcing in the Philippines and the world as a whole.
Yeah, so your president is in the right track.
Yes.
Because ever since we entered the digital age, the workplace, the concept of work and the concept of a workplace has all been disrupted.
Yes.
I mean, in the past, during my generation, when I was your age, when you say work, it really is an office. It's a physical office, and you all have to come on the same time as all workers.
Yes.
Today, the whole world has become a workplace.
Yeah.
And we work in different time zones, and we use the connectivity that has covered the whole world. I mean, as we speak today, yes, there's still around 2.5 billion humans in the planet that's not covered by connectivity, but almost 6 billion already has connectivity in many forms. And so we leverage on this connectivity in everything we do, in our work, in our lifestyle, in our means of communication, even in our culture. So the world has become smaller. In the past, we read books saying that technology is going to make the world flat. And it has happened today. And so, given this connectivity, given these digital platforms and solutions, companies migrated and explored how they can actually get the requirements as a company, not only from their location, but also from different parts of the world. At first, it began to be a strategy to reduce cost. So big companies go to locations such as the Philippines, which is a low middle income country, middle income, and try to find cheap labor. Today, we have proven after almost 2 decades that we have a lot of countries where the basis of hosting these jobs is no longer cost arbitrage. It's actually already about quality. Because in these countries like the Philippines and even India, because they've been the initial location of choice in the past, a lot of multinational companies running global operations now believe and feel the need to outsource and to offshore their requirements, not only because they want to save on cost, but because the quality and the skills that they are looking for is really in these countries.
So it's not about quantity anymore, it's now about quality.
Yes, it's about quality, it's about skill sets, and of course it's about the business environment. And it's not really common for a country to have a chief executive or a president saying he or she wants to open the country to investments or foreign direct investments. And I'm so glad that Uganda is one of these countries, given the things that you have. You have also a really good English communication competency. You have a lot of, hospitality. And, in communications, you don't only need to speak well. You need to speak in a way that you are understood and in a way that you inspire and you deliver the support that the company would need to, say, promote their products or troubleshoot, technical support, and even outbound sales. So you need to sound and speak like a human being, and that's very important.
Yeah, that's true. And that will bring me to my next question. What strategies have you been able to explore in the last 2 decades to get you to where you are now?
Yes, of course, we don't have the luxury of time in your podcast, so I'll get to only probably 3 points. So first is really talent. So the human talent, the skills of the workforce in the country is really the most important factor. The Philippines is a country that's known for having competence in English communication. 99% of our population really knows how to speak English. Of course, in varied levels. Yes. But we understand English. We can communicate in English. We can read and write in English. And I think that's very important. Aside from that, we also develop skills on a regular basis. Our country has created a lot of systems that allow for training in school, after school, and even postgraduate trainings if you want to move up the skills ladder. And also, we have a lot of trainings in enhancing digital competence. Currently, I'm proud to say that I'm part of the leaders who tried to craft a lot of policies to improve digital competence. In the past, digital skills are skills that are only possessed by information and communications technology graduates. Today in the Philippines, we require everyone to have digital competence.
So from elementary to secondary to university, everyone should have. That's good.
And mobile is very present in the Philippines. We have 99.6% mobile usage. That's practically the whole country.
That's the whole country.
So it's very ubiquitous. And to continue, the second would be business environment.
Business environment.
We need to have a national and a local, meaning city or provincial landscape that's very attractive to foreign investors. We need, of course, to compete with other countries in terms of tax incentives. And fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. When I say tax incentives, we have developed this economic zone model that's also found in other countries, where when you locate in these areas, which are like IT parks, techno parks, innovation hubs, you get income tax holidays, you get some exemptions on tariff and importation duties, and all of these things. And of course, in terms of business environment, one factor is really government support. Government should be there to be the main promoter of the whole country.
They should carry the system, on the whole BPO system on their back, and encourage other people, correct? All right.
And the third is really on infrastructure and cost of doing business. So it's very important that we are competitive. Like, for example, here in Uganda, I think your closest competitor will always be the other African countries. Yes. And I think Uganda should come up with a very good branding that will really spotlight your edge or your uniqueness in comparison with other African countries.
That is actually something very sentimental, because that's what we have actually been doing in partnership with different ministries, like tourism, like trade, like education. And just coming with a big approach as government of what do we want to be seen as? How do we want to project ourselves to the world? And I'm glad we're on the right track. But I want us to move to the next question. How is the government fostering the adoption of new technologies like AI, cloud computing, to enhance business process outsourcing?
So probably more than a decade ago, there has already been a warning among the innovators circle that new emerging technologies is going to disrupt the way we work, especially how business process outsourcing is being done. And so in preparation for the advent of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, and what's even more exciting is generative AI, which is a higher form of AI. We have already begun to train our workforce and using tools and using these emerging technologies. There's always the fear of losing jobs to these emerging technologies.
To the robots.
But I'm a firm believer of digitalization. And I believe that the more we understand how to use emerging technologies, the newer and the more jobs we will be able to create. So what we need to do is just future-proof our workforce, make them understand that machines, tools, system solutions are not substitutes to human beings. They're actually tools for us to be more productive, to be more efficient. So it takes a very strategic set of interventions for a country to really train their workforce to be intelligent in using all these tools.
I was listening to you in one of the meetings I attended, and you said something about when these technologies come up, it creates room for more jobs, because these people have to create user situations, and then when they do these things, then they create room for training. So I guess they also create more jobs.
Exactly, because we face a lot of problems every day. And the problems are also evolving. The problems are also getting complex. And so I feel that we have to transcend all these problems and utilize human intelligence to create modern machines and intelligent machines. I mean, machines cannot be more intelligent than human beings because we created them. So when we have these tools, when we have these platforms and solutions, we are able to create more use cases. And we are able to make and create more solutions. And to run these solutions, we need to have more people. And so as we speak today, maybe every week, there's a new job that's being created. I mean, I know last week I met somebody whose job is a blockchain auditor. I never even heard. I heard blockchain.
Yes.
But now somebody is being trained as a blockchain auditor.
Yes.
So when you create blockchain, of course, when you use blockchain in government systems, so you ensure the integrity of the accounts, you ensure the integrity of the data. Yes. I'm not really a very techy person. Yes. I'm a lawyer, I'm a politician. Yes. But what I know is this person ensures the integrity of the systems using blockchain. Yes. So in the past, his job would not have existed without blockchain. Yes. See? So as we speak, more and more jobs are out there. The question is how agile governments can adopt to these new technologies and how fast our educational system can supply the requirements of these new technologies.
Okay. Before we get into tip, what are your 3 favorite things about Uganda?
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Well, I have to be very candid and say the people.
Yeah.
You are also authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, you know, when you go to other countries, you feel like there's always like a barrier.
Yes.
Here it's like I'm coming home to my relatives. So I feel really at home.
Oh yeah.
Secondly, I think I really love the passion. Yeah. The passion of your leaders. Yes. Yeah, this may sound a bit boring. I should say food. I should say culture, but it's all there.
Yes.
I mean, every country has good food. I would suppose it depends on someone who's a foodie like me, because I always am in search of good food. But I think I love the passion, the things that you put into whatever you're preparing or doing. And let's talk about food. I always say that a country who loves how to prepare food and who gives a lot of effort in preparing food is really a good country to visit. And I think I found that in Uganda.
Yeah, what was your favorite food? The one we prepare and you have to enjoy.
You'll be surprised. I like the goat stew.
The goat stew, the goat stew.
Because the goat stew is like a delicacy in the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we don't eat goat every day. We probably eat maybe twice a year. Yes. And special occasions.
On special occasions.
And here I already ate every day. Like it's being served in the hotel, and I feel that it's more healthy.
Yes, it is.
Compared to pork.
You could one man's meat is another man's poison.
Well, because in the Philippines, I'd like to tell you we're a pork-eating country.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard of our lechon.
Yeah.
Lechon is like a whole pork.
Yes.
And that's grilled. Okay. So the skin is crispy, and we put lemongrass. Okay. So that's our delicacy.
Well done. Goat's meat is really good, and I think because we are an agricultural country, all these things are there in abundance. Yeah. Yeah. The third thing you said, passion.
The third would be, and I would still need to take a look at it. I think the natural attractions.
The natural attractions.
I mean, it's unfortunate that I will not stay here probably for a week or a month. Yeah. I'm just here for less than a week, but I'd like to say that Uganda is my first impression of Africa. Yeah. Okay. Because I've never been to any place in Africa except Uganda. Oh yeah. I've been well traveled, especially in Asia. Yes. And in the ASEAN. Yes. And even now, as a national government official, I've been to the European countries several times. Oh yeah. But this is really my first time in Africa. Yes. And my first impression of Uganda. And I'm really, really eager to see some wild animals.
Oh my God, you're going to see many actually. If you go to the zoo, if you go to the national parks, there is so much. And when you say natural elements, there's water borders, the Nile. Yeah. Next time when you come back, we shall take you to Jinja.
So it's very important for me because I'm a conservationist as a young person. I was also part of our local media in the past. Yes. My first job while I was taking up law school, I was actually doing report for a TV station. Okay. So it made me very passionate because I'm assigned to cover environmental news. Okay. So I feel like I want to see a world where everyone can coexist, including animals.
Yes, there's so many of them actually even in Western Uganda. gorillas and Windy Park.
Okay.
I
need to see some of them.
Yes, you'll see all those things. We hope to welcome you when you come back again. Now, getting back into ICT, what initiatives are being put in place to support innovation and digital transformation within BPO companies?
Okay, that's a very good question, because I think every country has stages in the area of global jobs. In the Philippines today, we know, and I think your Ugandan officials already recognize the Philippines as being high in the area of IT BPM or IT BPO. But we want this to expand to something more, because not all young Filipinos can work in a big company, in a foreign BPO company. So we're also creating a lot of sandboxes around supporting the gig economy.
Yes.
Young people who are doing freelancing jobs, online freelancing, working for big companies inside the comforts of their home, or probably inside a co-working space where everyone just comes in, have a coffee, and do some 2 to 3 hours work, and earn per hour.
Yeah, like graphic design or animation.
Yes, exactly. And so the Philippines is now also gearing towards really making it big in the freelancing, in the online freelancing world. That's why it's very important for us to ensure that connectivity is in the provinces.
Yes.
Because, many of our young Filipinos also don't want to go out of their own comfort zones. That's one. Second, we also want to help our BPO workers who wants to establish their own homegrown outfits.
Okay.
So now we have small Filipino owners or Filipino owners of small outfits. Like you can have maybe 50 animators serving like a European company who's in need of creative content.
Yes, like Disney.
Yes, that's it. And we also have healthcare information management, because the US is one of our big clients. So we do medical coding and billing for them. And for that, we have nurses. So that's why nurses are not only confined to medical skills.
Yes.
We also want them to have digital skills.
Okay.
I mean, you still use your medical knowledge, but you don't have to go to the hospital because you're doing back-end support.
Okay.
So these are the things that we're doing. We're also exploring supporting, and it's also being done now, supporting small and medium enterprises.
Yes.
Because digital can be in everything. You can be selling makeup, you can be selling songs, but still you need digital solutions and digital platform. So what we do is really to ensure that digitalization becomes a tool. It is not the main trade, it is a supporting tool. And I'd like to take this opportunity, because we're all both she, female here. In the Philippines, we have a very strong support for ITU's call to increase the number of girls in ICT.
Yes.
So in Asia, the numbers are still not so good. Normally, the highest would be around 25 to 30% of digital jobs are women.
Yes.
Of course, business process outsourcing, because it involves mostly voice, women would be in that space. But when we talk of software development, when we talk of, say, AI, data science, most of these things are confined to men. And so what we think is, if we are about to hit a deficit in the area of emerging technologies workforce, then we have to involve the women. We have to upskill the women. And so we're trying to understand the cultural barriers, especially in school. You would have a class of 50 in a software development class and only have maybe 1 or 2
make it to
women.
the end. You even finish.
Yes.
So we as a globe, I guess, we're pushing more for women empowerment, especially in these fields that have been male dominated. But as a country, I think we're also doing well. And because our Prime Minister, Right Honorable Robin Anabanja, is a female, and she launched our AI strategy. Our Permanent Secretary is female, Dr. Amina Zawete. Our State Minister is female. The former Executive Director for the Uganda Communications Commission was female. And also, we are female. And I think the more you see people doing these things, the more others are encouraged to do it.
Exactly.
So let's keep the hope alive.
Right. I'm actually surprised when I joined the diplomatic field 2 years ago to see that many African countries, especially in the ministerial level, have a lot of women leaders.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good sign.
Yes, I think even the Secretary General for ITU is female, no?
Yeah, after 156 years, finally we have a woman heading the ITU.
Yes.
But there are many continents, like even in Asia, it's not unusual to see a few number of women leaders.
Yes.
And I'm just happy that last April 25, the Philippines had the opportunity to host the Global Girls in ICT of ITU. And timely enough, the theme for that global celebration is leadership.
Yes, okay.
So the goal is really not only to involve women in ICT, but also to see a good number of women alongside men holding leadership positions.
Yeah, you're very considerate, alongside men. I agree. Yeah. Oh yes, even the CEO of MTN Uganda, Ms. Sylvia Mulinge, is female as well.
Right.
Now, as we're talking about diversification between having more men and women in the space, I want us to talk about rural-urban distribution.
Okay.
The diversity. You find that most of these jobs, these global jobs, we are now calling BPO global jobs because we are all on the same page. Most of these global jobs, you find they're centered within the CBD, the Central Business District, or the capital city. Yeah. And then out of town, it becomes a bit complicated.
Yes.
How do we diversify these jobs to reach every part of the country?
Yes. So that's really very challenging for the Philippines, since we are more than 7,000 islands.
Yes.
So we have bodies of water dividing our islands. And yet, as a nation, all these islands grouped together is called the Philippines. And so when I started to join the digital advocacy as a local city councilor in 2004, and so I'm celebrating my 20th year this year. Yes. So I am a local city councilor of a small city. In the Philippines, we have more than 800 cities. So my city is part of the Visayas geographical cluster. So when you go to the Philippines, we're practically divided into three parts: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And the smallest cluster is the Visayas, and my city is part of that. The name of my city is Bacolod City, and the show I will promote in my own city.
Yes.
Yes. And so 20 years ago, when I became a local politician, I said, why is it that many of our young people, especially those with bright minds, migrate to Metro Manila? And of course, the obvious answer is because the jobs are there.
Yes.
So I started to ask, how do we also make these opportunities become available in my own city? And so I started to learn about information and communications technology. I started to learn that there's a national law that creates economic zone, and that these economic zones can be anywhere in the Philippines, and then foreign investors can now go to the cities and enjoy income tax holidays. I also learned that what draws these BPOs to a particular city is talent. So you just need to create the need for them to come to your city. And I think that's the best advice I can give to Uganda, to create the need for investors to say, I need to go to Uganda because my business model, my business requirement can be answered by that country. And so I tried that. I tried to gather all the stakeholders, and I'll share this in your program. We have an acronym. We started it. Basically, I was leading an organization, and we started it. The name of the formula is called MAGIC.
MAGIC, okay.
MAGIC stands for Making Academe, Government, Industry Collaborate.
Yes, okay.
To create jobs.
Yes.
So MAGIC for jobs, MAGIC for opportunities, MAGIC for emerging technologies. To explain very briefly, you need primarily these three sectors. You need the academe to ensure that you have a steady supply of quality talent.
Yes.
You need the government, of course, because government prepares the policies, designs the policies.
Yes.
Government even have the resources to make things happen. And finally, you need the industry. Because the industry knows what they need. And they also are the ones who provide the jobs.
Yes.
And they get these jobs from all over the world. So I got this, the local counterparts of this in my city, and I said, would you like to see thousands or hundreds of thousands of jobs in this city of ours in the next several years? And everybody said yes. Okay, so no one said no. Okay, so here's the plan.
Yeah.
We're not yet there. Yeah. We need to promote our city, but we need to come together and design a plan.
Yes.
And so, fast forward 20 years later, this magic has been adopted by more than 100 cities in the Philippines, creating ICT groups, ICT councils in every city, and saying, okay, we have our own niche. One city is good in software, another city is good in voice, another city is good in healthcare information management. So everyone has a specialization, and there's a lot of opportunities for all cities.
There is something for everyone.
Yes, and that's how we drove the jobs to the countryside. When I started 20 years ago, the mix was about 80-20%.
Yes.
80% in Metro Manila, 20% shared by all the hundreds of cities.
Yes.
Now we're pushing 50-50. So as we grow, we're targeting 2.5 million jobs by 2028.
Yes.
As we grow, we want half of these 2.5 million jobs to be outside the central area.
Okay. My next question really is, how is government supporting the expansion of the innovation hubs and beyond Manila and Cuban and so much forth? How is government doing it?
Yeah. Okay, so it's very important to understand that on top of employment, we also need to develop entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship that's based on innovation. And we call it startups.
Yes.
We call it tech startups, we call it tech innovation, we call it techpreneurship. And the startups culture leads to creation of innovative ideas. And we've seen them, we have seen this in many advanced countries. In the US, in Korea, in Japan, in many advanced countries, how they create their startup innovation to spawn and to generate unicorns, to create big solutions for the world. And so how do we do it? We start with Metro Manila, of course.
Yes.
The first line of our incubators and accelerators and sandboxes were all in Manila. Now we are moving outside of Metro Manila. We've started it 5-6 years ago when we passed a law, which is called the Innovative Startup Act of the Philippines.
Yes.
So the law actually mandates 3 departments. As you said, you're working with the Ministry of ICT is working with different departments.
Yes.
For startups, we're all working together. My department, the Department of Information and Communications Technology, together with the Department of Trade and Industry, and the Department of Science and Technology. So these 3 departments, our programs and interventions combined, we cover the whole stage of a startup cycle.
Yes.
From ideation to incubation to acceleration to commercialization. When we now have unicorns, and we're also still starting to get there.
Yes.
So that's how we do it. We use the ICT Council in the local level as vehicles. We also use, most importantly, the universities. Because the goal is to create universities that are not only diploma mills, but universities that really provide a preparatory environment for a young citizen to develop his passion or her passion, whether to employ or to start a business, or probably create ideas. I mean, when you graduate from college, you cannot just graduate and not do anything. So we create programs to ensure that they have this sense of understanding of what they want in terms of helping the country while they are still in the university ecosystem.
Okay. That is actually very interesting because we also have innovation hubs.
Yes.
We have one in, and the beauty of it is that we have public and private.
Yes.
So as government, through Ministry of ICT, we have been able to set up an innovation hub in Nakawa, one in Muni University for the East, then another one in Soroti, and another one in Kabale. And it goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And I think this is really good when you find that government is holding one hand, and then also the private sector on the other side. They have the innovation village and motive, and it goes on and on.
Yeah, and I'm so happy I've been to one of your innovation hubs, the National Innovation Hub here in Kampala.
Okay.
And it's so inspiring to talk to your startup founders.
Yes.
And I really envy you because it's a government-run facility with the capacity to host around 55 startups.
Correct.
And that's a big thing because, again, in the Philippines, we have many incubators and accelerators, but it's mostly run by private sector. And, well, there are those that are publicly funded, but they're actually still run by private entities.
Yes.
But here, in Kampala, in Uganda, I saw it for myself, the National Innovation Hub, and I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you very much. So you said this starts from Manila and moves to Cebu.
And to many parts of the Philippines, yes.
Okay then. All right. Our next question is really a game changer.
Okay.
If you were a tree, what tree would you be and why?
Okay. I never gave that a thought because I always wanted to be an animal.
An animal.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I am going to be a tree,
yes. We could move it to animal then.
It's so hard.
Yeah. Okay.
Because trees are so beautiful.
True.
And they give shade. Maybe I can answer that. If I am a tree, I want to be a coconut.
A coconut tree.
Yeah.
Why?
Because everything in the coconut is useful.
All right.
Everything in the coconut is useful. Brandy, I always want, even as a kid, to use my life in a way that's useful for others.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds crazy for a 6-year-old if you hear that, But my parents heard me saying that.
Yes.
I mean, even at a very young age, not thinking about myself, but always thinking about others. And I have this save the world syndrome. And I thought I will shrug it off as I grow older.
Yes.
But it's still here.
Yeah.
It's still here. I still feel like I wake up and I'm a 20-year-old and I'm here to save the world. So I want to be a coconut tree because everything in the coconut is useful.
Yes.
From leaves to trunk to oil to meat, everything.
That's so true.
And I'd like to answer the other question.
Yeah.
The animal.
The animal, okay.
My animal spirit is a dolphin.
Your spirit animal is a dolphin. That's so cool.
I just say that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, because everyone tells me I have a dolphin smile.
Yes.
Yeah. And they say dolphins are one of the wisest animals.
Okay.
Yeah, and dolphins can hear from several kilometers away. They have the sonar intelligence.
Yes.
So I want to be a dolphin because dolphins normally have a way of resisting and avoiding danger.
Yes.
Because their hearing is so powerful.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And they're cute.
And they're really cute.
Yeah.
They're really, really cute.
Yeah, you see my ring is a dolphin.
Yes.
So I have a lot of dolphin.
Okay. All right, fine. You gave us two nice answers.
But I'm not sure if there's a dolphin in Africa.
I haven't seen one, but I have seen. But I would imagine they're there. I would imagine.
Really?
I don't want to. I don't want to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen some in Dubai. But anyway, back to the point.
Yeah.
So we are here for the Global Symposium
Yes.
of Regulators, organized by ITU.
Yeah.
Which will bring us to the next question: how has the regulatory environment? How does it spur innovation and business process outsourcing?
Well, I want to be candid with you. I mean, the ministry is not so much about regulation. Just like here in Uganda, you have a ministry, you have a UCC. So we have a separate body or agency that's handling regulation, but we supervise.
Yes.
And we are above our regulatory agency. And I think over the last 3 days, the key message is really regulation for impact.
Okay.
And that's our theme.
Yeah.
Earlier, I captured many of the words of Minister Chris Baryomunsi.
Yes. Oh, you said his name?
Yeah,
Right.
I love so much because he went to the Philippines
Yes.
with Dr. Amina.
Yes.
And I like it because we we have the same lens. He said, I'm a politician, and I too am a politician. And for us, at the end of the day, what we wish is not really the technology, is not really the digitalization. It's really how we can create jobs and opportunities for our people.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds so political, but it's the real thing. I mean, why is government there? Government there is there not to create broadband and all that. Government is there to ensure somehow a decent life for its constituents.
Yes.
And so I feel that regulation should also align with that vision.
Yes.
We cannot just only regulate for the sake of regulating.
Yes.
We have to regulate to create more pathways for impact, for opportunities, for jobs. And to do that, we need the whole ecosystem.
Yes.
We need even the private sector. Earlier, there was an emphasis on public-private sector partnerships.
Yes.
But to do that, governments must be agile and fast and effective. Because you have a private sector that's not that is not as slow as government.
Yes.
So government and private sector should move in the same rhythm and speed.
Okay. I agree with you, actually. You're right. You are as candid as you could be, and it's really the basic truth. Sometimes when people say these things, you're like, no, but everyone deserves a decent life.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves food on the table.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves to be able to pay their taxes.
Exactly.
And anyway, what is the current initiative or program that you're working on to help the BPO sector have like a better format in the next 5 to 10 years? What's your vision for the sector?
So top of my head is really how we can survive and navigate the impact of disruptive technologies. It's not correct to say that this AI, this emerging technologies will not displace people. It will displace people. Not because of these technologies, but because people are not as efficient in terms of using these digital technologies. That's my concern. Globalization is a very important issue. It is a double-edged sword for any country. It means that you will have the opportunity to address the requirement of international companies, but these international companies will also have the opportunity to hire foreigners in your own place. So even as we speak, that's happening now.
Yeah.
So, for example, as the world opens up to a more cohesive and unified workplace, you will see people from Europe now working in Asia, or people in Asia probably working in Africa. And so the point is, we don't want our own people to be displaced.
Yeah.
But we have no choice if we don't upskill, and reskill.
Yes.
It's very important that we have to be competitive.
Yeah.
And I know those who are not in the circle would say it's easier said than done.
Done.
It might be correct, but you know what? Because of digitalization and the digital age, learning has also become very easy.
And interesting.
A lot of the people I met in the U.S., I have several fellowships there. I visited a lot of companies there, and I've interviewed a lot of top executives.
Yeah.
And 80% of them tell me many of the things they apply in their work are actually self-learned. There's a lot of training programs on YouTube. Even podcasts can be a source of training. I mean, you just need to stir curiosity among your people.
Yes.
And so it does not help to have a very traditional educational system that tries to bind you inside the four walls of the classroom and tries to grade you like you are a magna cum laude.
Yes.
You know, in the Philippines now, that's our issue because we have a wave of honor students. And the point is this really with basis? Or are we just trying to create a delusion that they are good.
They're excellent.
They're excellent. I don't want to question. I don't want to pick a fight with our universities. They might actually come across this podcast. What I'm just trying to say is, never ever tell your students to stop learning after graduation because they have it all. No, they don't have it all.
Yes.
They don't have the actual experience.
Yes.
All they have are theories.
Yes.
And so kudos and congratulations to the universities who provide work experience while the students are in school.
Yes.
And that's what I want.
Internships and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, just a seamless transition from school to the actual workplace.
Okay. That's really cool. And it's one of the things that we emphasize also in the digital transformation roadmap.
Yeah.
Last year in August, the Ministry of ICT launched the digital transformation roadmap. The Vice President, Her Excellence Jessica Olupo, was the chief guest. And the roadmap just stands on 5 things. Connectivity and infrastructure, skilling, digital skilling, e-services, cyber security and data privacy, and lastly, innovation and entrepreneurship. So all these things come together and create an ecosystem where you continue to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we're on the same page with you on that on that point.
Yeah.
One more question for you. Are you ready? If you woke up a day,
okay.
If you woke up on a day and you found yourself with 2,000 emails, and you had to reply just 3, how would you pick the 300 emails to reply?
3 or 300?
300. You already have 2,000.
Okay, 300.
You have 2,000, and you have to pick 300 to reply.
Well,
how would you?
Maybe. First of all, I will choose the emails of young people who have dreams.
Yes.
Because that's what I do every day.
Yes.
I oftentimes don't really immediately reply to politicians or people in government. Yeah. But when I see a Facebook message or even an email coming from a young person saying, I'm doing this, I'm creating this platform, I'm creating the solution, can you help me make it better? There I reply. I say, okay. And then they'll say, oh no, we did not really expect you to reply, but you did. And this young person is going to be very ecstatic. So that's the first type of emails I will reply to, because the world is moving forward. We need more ideas. We will never have an oversupply of ideas because the world is evolving. Second, I will probably reply to countries who would like, or officials of countries who would like to collaborate. Yes. Like Uganda. Because the world is getting smaller, and I feel that one nation cannot do it on its own. We need to leverage on each other's resources. I feel like every country has a strength. And if we leverage on this ecosystem, we can do it. And I'd like to particularly say that I have a very strong passion to help the ASEAN. ASEAN is composed of 600 million people. The Philippines is 118, and we have other ASEAN countries. And some of us are advanced, some of us in other things. Some of us are not so advanced in other things, and we want to think about the whole ASEAN as one region. So probably that's my second email. The third is, and I want to be candid, I will answer those who are asking me to go to taste some food that I've never tasted before. Or maybe some food that I always want to eat, but I cannot find probably.
Or your schedule is just too busy and you're failing to find the time.
So the third one is really the most authentic answer.
All right, fine. So that's really awesome. I know that we are having so much fun. And I would want us to close with just words of encouragement, words of hope, words of love to anyone who's watching or listening to you on this podcast.
All right, thank you. So first of all, thank you, Brandy, for having me on your podcast. I'm so happy to be talking to you. I think you are a representation of a young Ugandan citizen who's very much involved in the dream of creating a new Uganda that's ready for the future. And thank you for that. Thank you as well to our Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. It's very unique that aside from ICT, they're also the Ministry for National Guidance, and guidance is what we need, really. So thank you to them. And of course, finally, I'd like to say thank you to the people of Uganda. There will always be lapses or flaws that your government will commit. Your leaders will not be 100% perfect. But it also takes a really responsible and passionate citizenship to really build a nation. And, I said this, I will always say this over and over again. Systems are important. Digital systems, for example, are important because no matter how passionate a leader is, a bad system will always defeat that bad leader. But I still have an antidote for a bad system, and that's good citizenship. Because when you have good citizenship and you have good leaders, you will all work towards making a very good system. So thank you, and mabuhay from the Philippines.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we have come to the end of this episode. But would you want to share your socials? If anyone wanted to find you, where would we find you?
Yeah, so I have a website. People told me, you're a lawyer, you're a politician, so you cannot create a website, but I have proven them all wrong. My website is in WordPress. It's been running for 6 years. It's my full name plus .com. So it's Jocelle Batapa Sigue.com. And I wrote about Uganda, the visit of Minister Baryumunsi and Dr. Amina. And I will write again about Uganda because I am here right now and this week. And if you want to get in touch with me, my email is UIID. That's Undersecretary for ICT Industry Development, UIID at dict.gov.ph. But if you find emailing boring, you just look for my name on Facebook. I have more than 20,000 followers. Be one of them. Thank you very much.
You're such an influencer. You have 20K followers.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And we have been the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. You can find us on X at MYCT_UG, and then also on Instagram, and then on our website, www.ict.go.ug, and across all platforms. I have been your host today. My name is Brandy Valentine Azere. You can find me on all platforms at Valentine Brandy on X, Brandy Cool on Instagram.
Wow.
I could go on and on, but you'll find me, just find the ministry and then you'll find me. Thank you for joining us for this lovely episode. We have been your guests and your host, and together we say, for God and my country, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.